are back. We are Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine.
I am still James.
Yeah, I ain't put a video up about a week. Sorry, been busy. But we went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, so we're going to go ahead and do this review. So Ant-Man and the Wasp is the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The movie is starring Paul Rudd and what's the Wasp name? What's
Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, and Michael Douglas and I forgot her name. The chick that plays
Hannah John Kamen.
Okay, the human encyclopedia over here. So and Lawrence Fishburne and Michael Pena. Those like your main star. Oh, can't forget T.I. T.I. had played a huge role in this movie. We cannot leave him out.
Right.
All right. Ant-Man and the Wasp is a sequel to was that 2015? 2015 movie Ant-Man, which a lot of people didn't think was going to work, including myself. I remember, as I said, once they decided to do the Avengers, I was telling everybody who was all the Avengers, and when I told them about Ant-Man, I just couldn't sell it to them. They just like, really?
Because he is a tough sell. It's like, okay, so like he shrinks really small and he talks to ants. What?
It was like, okay, Captain America can kick ass and knock people's head off their shield. Falcon can fly.
Hulk is Hulk.
Hulk can drop buildings. He can beat the crap out of people. Hawkeye can shoot arrows. Thor can bring down lightning. Iron Man got a super tech suit, and Ant-Man can shrink
and talk to ants.
Okay, can you wait outside the room, please?
It's like, thanks for the audition, buddy. Don't call us. We'll call you.
But no, so yeah, this is the sequel. The first movie was mildly successful. It was actually a little better than they thought.
I think we can fairly say it was better than anyone expected.
Yeah, and I think they went the right route by going comedic tone with this. I mean, because the idea, if you took this serious, how good would you think it would have done? You know what I'm saying?
I can't imagine this movie being successful as a serious movie.
Because if you remember, originally Ant-Man was not really a comedic character.
No, it wasn't.
Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, was
actually a tragic character.
Yeah, he became that, but originally he was more like, a scientist. He was kind of like what's his Fantastic Four, Reed Richards kind of. He was kind of like him. And they went a comedic tone, especially by bringing in Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd was known for mostly, I never seen him in nothing but comedies.
That's all I've ever seen. I can't.
And it's funny, he played a movie called My Idiot Brother, I think it's called. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way they treat him in this movie.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to that.
Every time anybody talks to him in this movie.
Yeah, okay. So, this is part 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp. They added the Wasp. Wasp is known in the comics as being Ant-Man's partner and his wife. And she flies. She shrinks too. And she can fly with wings. But it's like insect wings. I always thought that was just silly. But whatever.
I mean, that and the wings are actually grafted to her body, which was weird.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She can only use them when she shrinks because they stay that size all the time.
Okay, so she got wings and she got little blasters. What they used to call them things?
Wasp stings.
Yeah. Which I don't think it actually hurt people. I think it was just like kind of like stun people.
That's better than when they first brought her into the comics. When they first brought her in, she just carried around a little pin to stick people with when she was tiny.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talking about the 60s, so, whatever. They updated her. They made her, she got little blasters, and they actually hurt people, so it's cool. Yeah. It's effective. So, okay, the plot of this movie, as if you've seen part 1, Scott Lang, Paul Rudd played a character named Scott Lang. He became Ant-Man when he stole the suit from Hank Pym because he was too old to use it. He stole the suit, and then they needed him to. It was kind of like a heist movie. So he became small, and they had this big plan to do a heist. It was fun, it was like a heist movie. So they was kind of following in that same what's the word I'm looking for? Where
blueprint.
The same aesthetic, the same blueprint of kind of pulling off heists and stuff. What you think of the addition of Wasp?
She makes him look so obsolete in this.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you like this. When they wrote this to they made Paul Rudd just look so.
He's the sidekick.
It definitely the sidekick. Like, why is your name in the front?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say at the head. This is definitely. I've been saying this since we first saw the trailer, but this is the Wasp movie with Ant-Man.
Right. Okay. So people want to know what it's about because following Infinity War, you wondering is this tied to Infinity War? Not really. It's kind of a contained story, and the story is basically, Ant-Man. He on house arrest because after Civil War, and the Wasp, they trying to get to. The Wasp and Hank Pym is trying to get to their mother, right? Her mother and his wife.
Yeah.
They found out since Paul Rudd character Scott Lang went to the quantum realm that they somehow can get the mother out. So the movie is pretty much just that was their goal, and somebody else wanted to take what they built to. I guess that'd be a spoiler, but somebody else was after their technology. Put it that way.
Yeah.
It was just
pretty much. Everybody's after the same stuff.
Everybody's after the same stuff, and people was running into each other.
Yeah.
I mean
that's the essence of the movie, right there.
Yeah, and then you can add a character like Walter Goggins, which is perfectly cast as a weasel. He's a weaselly, basically arms dealer, I guess.
Salesman, a slimy southern,
Yeah. He should have had just a gold tooth. That would just made it even worse. Gold tooth, the cowboy boots.
God. I did some off-color snakeskin boots.
Yeah, with the little metal tip on them.
Yeah,
and the gold tooth.
It's like, now come on, y'all, you can trust me.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, it was a movie of everybody was after this technology to get to the quantum realm, and they would just run into each other. So from there on, you got shenanigans, and we could just talk about the performances of some of the characters. Did I say Lawrence Fishburne was in it? Yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne.
He was one of the people that actually was after some of the technology too. So it just became one of the movies where it's like one of them silly comedies back in the day where you got all people that ends up in the same place, and then hilarity ensue. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that.
That's pretty much what it is. Because these used to be kind of a dime a dozen,
Yeah.
But now we have the comic book version of that story.
Yeah, that's all it was. So it was like this was a fun movie for kids to see because it was a lot of gags.
Yeah.
A lot of gags, which I don't want to spoil anything, but it was gags in there like where we know he can shrink and then he can grow large. Things like his shrinking thing, his shrinking device will malfunction and he'll be stuck a certain size, which won't be too big or too small. It'd be in a certain size, which is comical.
Just enough to make it awkward.
Yeah, that kind of deal. So it was stuff like that. It was funny. Some of the jokes was a little too forced. Some of the jokes, I ain't gonna say forced, but it was like, okay. It was funny for a certain audience because it was people in the movie theater was cracking up. Like every time, and it was kind of corny to me, but every time Paul Rudd do something, when his little, if somebody over there, they was loving that shit, man.
Like, there was a couple people in the theater when we went and saw this. I mean, straight dying. Like I didn't even know there was a joke, and they were dying.
Yeah, I mean, it was sitcom humor. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, this movie would no one would have noticed if they had put a laugh track in this movie.
I know.
No one would have noticed, man.
Yeah, it was a little sitcom-y. That's why I was like, it was fun, but I wasn't I wasn't that invested. So it was things that are happening, like Ants was working on the fucking
Machines.
complex machines, and you know what? I didn't even say what the fuck.
I started to, and I made myself back off.
I mean, because I was like, yeah, this is the kind of movie.
Yeah, it's like, because I'm looking at like, you know what? It's just Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah,
that's all. It
was too goofy and childish, but I mean, it was cool. And I'm looking like those ants didn't look real at all.
No.
Not saying that I would know what an ant looked like up close like that, but it didn't look real.
Yeah.
It looked like something fake.
Like it either clearly did not look like it was there, or it clearly was not interacting with what we saw. Like even if it was like an animatronic, it's like, nah, they're not on screen with it.
Yeah, it just, well, to me it looked like the whatever material. I mean, I guess I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly what an ant looked like up close like that, but it didn't feel like it was organic or something. It just felt like it was some made up, somebody just put some prosthetics together or something. I don't know. It just didn't look right. But it was silly stuff like that, man. Like he had giant ants around him just working.
Yeah. Because reasons, you know.
I mean, well,
he's Ant-Man.
Yeah, but they didn't acknowledge it at all.
No.
They just had to fucking, and it wasn't just, it was like working a blowtorch. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just lifting a box from here to there. Like, no, it was doing complex stuff.
It's like, it's basically Hank Pym is the foreman at a construction site. All right, boys, lower that down a couple notches. Yeah. Now tighten those bolts. Good job, guys.
So you're gonna explain to me that these ants were doing complex, you know what I'm saying? They know building a quantum tunnel.
They know how to work an arc welder. Like most human, I know maybe 3 human beings that can work an arc welder.
So I'm thinking maybe he make them, like he control their functions.
I don't know.
And apparently he can control multiple ants' functions at once and still do what he doing.
Yeah.
So it's not even hard. Okay. So, okay.
I prefer not to think about it.
Okay, so I mentioned before it was, let's talk about the villains. What's her name?
Ghost.
Yeah, what was her real name?
Hannah John Kamen.
Yeah, played by her. She's a very attractive young lady. She probably like biracial or something. She's British.
She plays badasses. That's pretty much.
Yeah, she was in Ready Player One.
Yeah.
As the, she's like one of them biracial chicks that's just like fucking fine as shit. And he's like, you don't even know what race she is, but you know she's bad. But anyway,
like I'm sure she's got some kind of island stuff.
Right. That's what I'm saying. She mixed. Caribbean, she's from England,
something like that.
And she got that sexy British accent or whatever. So, okay, enter this character. Like I said, it was just basically all these characters was after the same stuff.
Yeah. And
she was one of the characters. Now, I was feeling like, okay, you brought her in as the villain, and not spoiling too much, her goals and her what she was trying to accomplish was
it wasn't nothing bad.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And it's like, this movie actually could have been resolved if all these people just talked.
Yeah. If they could have all sat down in a room together and had an honest conversation. Like, yeah. So we're not going to try to kill each other. We're just going to work together. And sure.
But see, they had a moment like that where you could figure it out, and it turned upside down for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Once you realize we ain't got nothing against each other. We just like this. We just got different goals.
This whole movie easily could have been the entire cast versus Walton Goggins.
Yeah, that's the only person that had evil intentions. Yeah. I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? Ulterior motives. Like everybody had their own reasons, but they reasons were justified.
With the FBI mucking stuff up along the way.
Yeah, and I knew. I'm gonna talk about that too. The little Asian FBI head of FBI dude. Yeah. That dude was like a metrosexual or something. He was just. Yeah. What else he was in? I know I've seen that dude in something else.
I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, and I never remember him once I'm done watching it. But,
yeah. I mean, he was cool, but he was real feminine. And I was like,
he was extremely soft.
Yeah. So, anyway, it ain't too much to talk about, man. All I can say was, it was a real fun movie designed for kids. A lot of the jokes was just very, I guess you would say, kid-friendly jokes.
Yeah. I mean, like this is like the exact opposite Marvel movie to, like, I guess at least comic book movie to Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know, like, so for all the parents that brought their kids to see Deadpool 2 after you learned your lesson on Deadpool 1, this is what you were supposed to take your kids to.
So let's talk about the stunts and the gags and the fight scenes and the action. How do you feel about when they got all the, they make the stuff big, make stuff small and stuff? How was that for you?
I understand that that's kind of the gimmick here, but I didn't need it.
It got to the point, especially when you saw in the trailer, they did the pass dispenser.
Yeah.
I think once they got to that point, I was tired of it because you already did it a couple times, and I think you did that a lot in the first movie.
Yeah,
like with the train and shit, and that gag didn't do nothing for me by the time they got to that point because they did that gag so many times, and then all they doing was trying to find something. They try to find something that'll look goofy, turn big. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they could have literally threw anything, turned it big, and used it as a weapon. Yeah. But they want to use a plastic pass dispenser, a Hello Kitty pass dispenser.
Like, it would have been nothing for them to like turn a toy sword into a life-size sword, and
or whatever. You know, you can literally. They could have literally thrown anything, but they did that because it was funny.
Yeah.
You know, a pink and white Hello Kitty pass dispenser. But at that point, I'm like, okay, I've seen that gag so many times.
The only thing I really appreciated was the first time I saw him shrink the lab down to basically carry on luggage in the trailer.
Yeah,
and the Hot Wheels.
Right. I'm looking like, you see. Oh, and then let's talk about that because I was looking like, why was they shrunken down? Sometimes they shrink down for no reason other than a gag.
Yeah.
Because it was one point they was just driving. And they was shrunk down to.
So I was thinking about that. The only excuse.
Now I ain't talking about doing the chase. I'm talking about they was just regular driving.
No. So the only excuse I can come up with that, and it's a bit shallow, but it works.
What?
They were trying to avoid surveillance.
By who?
Well,
they was at their own place.
No, but they was on the run though.
No. Before that, when she. Okay, we about to start talking about every part of the movie. But, okay, before that, it was a part where they needed to hook up. And then when they got together, they was just driving along tiny underneath other cars for no reason. Like, literally no reason. And then they turned big on the street in front of everybody. Why was you trying to hide? Why was you trying to be small to, you know what I'm saying, avoid a crowd, and then you just turn. So somebody walking down the street, you just see that, gonna be like, what the fuck?
It keeps them from being tracked. Like, it's one thing if a car suddenly appears somewhere on surveillance and shit, but like, if they see you driving along, they know.
Why not stay small? Why not drive the damn car into the building where people can't even see the car go in there?
Because they didn't have the wherewithal to put a garage in it. They should.
You're trying to make too much sense out of it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It was a gag, and they didn't have a reason to do it. Now you trying to make sense out of it, but seriously, it was just a gag, and it didn't have no reason to do it.
I know. I'm just saying, like, because like the second I saw, I'm like, what reasons could they? Okay, it could be this. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's probably what they're gonna say is the reason.
They didn't give you no reason. That's another thing. So you just speculating, and that's the thing. That made it even dumber to me to not even give a reason for, you know what I'm saying, just for that. Other than the gag was you look like a little remote control car, and then the noise. They did a little noise when the car drove. All it was is just to get a laugh out of you. I'm telling you, it was not done. I agree. It was not done for no particular reason. Now, if they would have done that, and then they was like, if he would have been like, why are we small right now? Oh, we just trying to avoid surveillance or whatever. Okay, problem solved. I wouldn't ask the question. I wouldn't even bat an eye. But no, you was just small because of the hell of it.
So you could get that shot of them sitting parked under an actual car.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And then when you see it drive off, you go, it's funny. That's all it was, dude. It was a lot of useless. It was a lot of things that unnecessary for a joke, for a gag. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not totally complaining because I knew what I was walking into. I'm just saying stuff like that it would have been better if you would have just gave me somewhat of an explanation for that.
Fair enough.
And then I don't tell if somebody do know, ooh, you missed that one part when they said. I mean, maybe I did, but I didn't see it. Like we said, it was a funny movie. It was self-contained, funny movie. So, question. Let's talk about pretty much the ending. And like I said, it was it was a lot of gags for as the getting small and getting big, and they threw all that with the action, which a lot of it did work. But I was like, I was waiting for Ant-Man to really do something redeeming to make me not be like, this dude just a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Did he do anything? Did he have a moment for that, like that for you?
No. Like, and that's the thing. Like in the first one, they at the very least start you off with like, no, this dude's like, he's intelligent. It's just he's applying his intelligence towards breaking into stuff. You know, like dude understands security system. He understands thermodynamics. He understands mechanical engineering. He's just at his core a simple dude who knows all this stuff. And then you cut to this one. It's like he understands nothing anyone talks about in this.
Not just that, man. They treated him like an idiot the whole movie.
Yeah,
the whole movie. Now, like I was waiting for them to get past the "we mad at you," so we just gonna kind of treat you like crap because we mad at you. But that didn't go away. It's like they treated him like crap the whole movie.
He basically played into it. You know, it's like because like they make him to be the dumbest individual in the movie.
I know.
In a movie with dumber individuals,
and he's in the title. It's like wow, you want me to respect this guy? Okay. Like, come on, guys, you gotta focus. I'm like, dude, this is like a fucking sitcom. I swear to God.
And I'll be perfectly honest. Part of the problem with that is what you end up with is a movie where the main character could have been anybody else that fit in the suit.
Yeah, I mean,
like, other than the plot device, there was no reason to have him there.
That's true. That's actually true.
Like, your main character should not just be there because of insert plot device.
Yeah, I mean, that was my problems with it. But on the whole, since I'm not really an Ant-Man fan and I wasn't looking forward to seeing like, oh, I can't wait to see this. Right. It was good enough because it kept me entertained. Last question before we move on. Did Michael Pena, how did he work for you?
Better than I expected.
Okay.
Because I was expecting to be so done from the jump.
Yeah.
You know, and they managed to turn his unique character traits into like basically the reason they won.
Yeah, I mean, they actually knew how to pull back a little bit on him to give him enough time to talk or whatever without making him too annoying to me. Because I got a little, he just felt so out of place in the first one that I was like, okay, this one I'm like, okay, you gonna bring him back, and then on the trailer,
you don't have that moment.
Right, in the trailer, they made it seem like he was gonna be more into the story, but he wasn't as much. So I was cool with that because you use him just enough, you know. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with that.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, his unique method of storytelling reminds me way too much of a guy I know, and so every time he gets started, I'm like, oh God, not again.
Yeah,
but like once he gets into it, I'm like, okay.
Right, they put it in a way that it wasn't like oh, here we go again. It was like, oh, okay, it's cool.
Yeah. It was like, I'd hate to be one of the people he's talking about, but it's cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a rate, man. So this movie, it was like I said, it was fun. I wasn't expecting much. The trailers though pretty much gave me pretty much everything I needed to know on this movie. It just the matter of playing it out. Yeah. And then you kind of wait to the end till you see it. Only thing I was really thinking about, how is it gonna connect to
Infinity.
Yeah, so I'm not going to spoil it. It's something that does connect it. I'll give you that. But you got to wait for a while to get to that. But on the whole, I had some fun with it. Had a couple laughs. So I'm gonna give it all right. It was cool. It didn't give me nothing I haven't seen before because of the first movie. Some of the gags of growing small and big was cool, but I already seen him run on the gun. So now that she just running on the knife, I feel like it's cool. It looked good, but I've seen it, and then pretty much every little gag or stunt they kind of showed in the trailer, it was pretty much all was in this movie. I didn't see nothing extra that I didn't see in the trailer, unless you did. I can't remember. And so I thought it was all right because I had a little fun with it. I wasn't bored, but I wasn't blown away. So for that, I give it all right.
I gotta agree with a lot of that. Like, there wasn't much, like, outside what was it. There was some cute little family moments in this, and if you go in for that kind of stuff, which I generally do not, then I'm sure you'd enjoy this movie a lot. I am happy to see Marvel actually making a female character that feels like she can hold her own weight.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said, this was her movie and she was a badass.
Yeah, she really didn't need him.
No.
Honestly.
She fights better than him. She's smarter than him. Her suit looks better than his.
He was the idiot brother. That kind of like, what, really?
Yeah.
And it's funny, he got a movie called The Idiot Brother.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But all in all, it wasn't a bad movie. I'm gonna give it an eye.
Yeah. Real quick, I did not see no romance between them. No. I saw her feel sorry for the goofy dude that had a crush on her in school, and she gave him a kiss because he almost got hurt trying to help her, so she gave him a kiss. That's what I saw.
There was a little bit of that jilted lovers stuff. Like, they were starting to get some going, and now she feels betrayed, and so she's gonna keep hitting him over the head with it. But clearly, they're not going anywhere.
She didn't give him an ounce of respect. No. I swear to God.
Like, this is what happens when the girl you were trying to get with finally looks at you the same way her dad does.
And she might give him some pity sex. That's about the best he gonna get.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, they gonna end up together. But the way they wrote this, it don't even fit. But anyway, that's our rating for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Both give it all right. It was pretty good. It was entertaining and pretty fun. Kids gonna love it.
Yeah.
If you got any kids, especially young kids, take them to see that. They probably wouldn't get Infinity War as much, but take them this, they just have fun with it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're gonna move on to